your journey, where it began when it comes to algae, and
Where it began or where I began, or both.
both. And why algae is so important.
Yes, it was the first life on Earth almost 4 billion years ago, and it's still here. To put that in context, humans have been on Earth for 200 million, but algae's been here for 4 billion. And I'm writing a book, as I told you.
I'm Jenny Jones, and today I'm joined by Catharine Arnston, founder and CEO of ENERGYbits and one of the leading educators on Spirulina and Chlorella. In this episode, we dive into the science behind microalgae, mitochondrial health, detoxification, gut health, brain function, protein, longevity, and why algae has been called one of the most nutrient-dense foods on the planet. You are listening to the BiohackerBlondie Podcast.
Okay, well, welcome to another episode of the BiohackerBlondie Podcast. And welcome, Catharine. I'm really excited because we're going to get all into algae,
Yes.
which is your favorite topic.
We're gonna drip in algae, inside, outside, all around.
There's no one more passionate about algae than you.
That
and
is
I love
true.
it so much. So please tell us your journey, where it began when it comes to algae, and
Where it
why-
began or where I began, or both.
both. And why algae is so important.
Yes. Well, I'll start with algae because it's been here a lot longer than I have, so it has a longer, older story. It was the first life on Earth almost 4 billion years ago, and it's still here. To put that in context, humans have been on Earth for 200 million, but algae's been here for 4 billion. And I'm writing a book, as I told you. It's called Love Your Health to Bits with Algae, and there's a whole chapter called The Origin Story that is really very interesting that I think people will enjoy. So then fast forward to where we are today. Algae is everywhere. It's in the oceans, the lakes, the rivers, the streams. And there's actually two main categories of algae. One is called macroalgae and the other one is microalgae. And we're going to be talking about microalgae. But macroalgae is that stringy stuff that you see washing up on shore, also known as seaweed or dulse or kelp. And it's really good for you because it has lots of fiber and iodine because it's grown from the ocean. That's why it's called seaweed. It's from the sea. And you can see it. But it has virtually zero nutrition. So high fiber, only in the sea, and virtually no nutrition. What we're going to be talking about today is about microalgae. And it's called microalgae because it's microscopic in size. You can't see this. You can get like 1 million of them on the head of a pin. That's how tiny it is. And it's everywhere. It's not just in the sea. It's in the rivers, the lakes, the streams, the soil, and it's harvested as a food crop in fresh water. Most of these in farms. They're grown hydroponically, mostly in Asia. 99% of microalgae is grown in Asia, so India, China, and we grow ours in Taiwan. And we'll talk about the different algae and what they do. The main two are Spirulina and Chlorella. Spirulina is a blue-green algae, and Chlorella is a green algae, and they're called that because of the pigments. Chlorella has only the green pigment, which we all know, called chlorophyll. Spirulina has two pigments. It has the chlorophyll, but the primary one is a blue one called Phycocyanin. That's spelled with a PHY. Lots of people know about methylene blue, which is a chemical. Phycocyanin, the blue pigment, is the same blue, but it's natural and it has 100 times more benefits than methylene blue. Way more, and it's natural. You will never, ever have any kind of toxicity problems with it because it's natural. And it's only found in spirulina. A lot of people use the blue phycocyanin to make pretty smoothies and turquoise icing on cake. But I'll tell you, we'll get into this later on, but the blue phycocyanin in spirulina is proven to kill cancer cells. Proven. Even the chemotherapy companies use it in their treatments now. We'll circle back to that later on.
We definitely
so
have
that's
to get into that.
that's the story about algae, that it's first life on Earth. Evolved into these two different types, macro and micro. Macro you can see, it's only in the ocean. Micro you can't see. And microalgae, I forgot to complete it. Microalgae either has zero fiber or virtually no fiber. Spirulina is actually a bacteria. It's called a cyanobacteria. It's not even a plant, so it does not have a cellulose wall. And that's important to know because this is why it gets absorbed into your body almost instantly if you chew it, and in minutes if you swallow it. It literally bypasses digestion. This is why all the nutrition in spirulina gets where it needs to go, and we'll talk about some of the critical ones like an antioxidant called superoxide dismutase that goes straight to your mitochondria because it's absorbed instantly. So spirulina has 0 fiber. Chlorella has a little bit of fiber, and we'll talk about that because that fiber attaches to toxins, heavy metals, glyphosate, pesticides, and chelates them. But the other thing about these two algae, microalgae, is they are the most concentrated nutrition in the universe. And that's not my opinion. NASA, we have a quote from NASA that says 1 gram of algae has the same nutrition as 1,000 grams of fruits and vegetables. 1 to 1,000. It's crazy.
Wow.
And the United Nations has endorsed spirulina algae as the answer to world hunger because, drum roll, has the highest protein in the world. 3 times more than steak, chicken, or fish. There is nothing with more protein than spirulina algae. Chlorella comes second. Our spirulina is 64% protein. Just to put that in context, animal protein is about 22%. So it's literally 3 times more than animal protein. Wow. So microalgae, endorsed by international agencies. There's thousands of strains, but the 2 that are grown are spirulina and chlorella. 100,000 studies documenting the different benefits of it. 100,000. There's about 60,000 for spirulina and about 40,000 for chlorella. But the problem is, all of this knowledge is stuck in scientific silos because scientists don't talk to consumers.
Yeah.
That's not their job. Their job is to do research and write papers.
Yeah.
And that's how they get tenure and bonuses. Not to go on Oprah, not to go on, talk shows or anything, or podcasts. That's not their job. Their job is research, and that's what they do. So there's this huge gap of knowledge and what the consumers are missing. The scientists know all about what algae does. Agriculturalists know about it because the ones that grow algae. The world agencies know about it, but we have to get the knowledge to consumers. And that's what I do. I'm the gap between the scientists and the consumers because the information is there, the proof is there, it's been used safely in Asia for 60 years. They take it every day in Taiwan, in Japan, in China, and it's a crop. It is not a supplement. Spirulina and chlorella tablets, whether you buy them from us or from Trader Joe's, it's food. We call our tablets bits because they're bits of food. They're just dried bits of food. That's it. There's nothing else in there.
Not synthetic.
Not synthetic. It's a crop. So when you take it, you know you're giving your body food. And when you take ours, you know that it's pure food because I didn't invent algae, Mother Nature did. But I'll take credit for growing it so carefully that we preserve all the nutrition. So it goes to work for you.
Which is very crucial. I also realize that you don't need soil, which is a very
it's grown
critical
in water
right now. Our soil is getting depleted of nutrients.
Right.
So that's another thing that we have to think about.
Good point. I forgot to mention. Yeah, it's grown what's called hydroponically, and ours is grown in triple filtered spring mountain water in Taiwan. In fact, I was just in Taiwan last month. I took a whole film crew with me because when I tell people we grow ours in carefully triple filtered spring mountain water, there I was I have the film crew, pointing at the mountain. There's the mountain, not AI. It was me. The flight was 24 hours. I went to Taipei. Wow. Then I had to take a 2-hour train. Then I had to take a 2-hour bus because it's in the agricultural area of Taiwan. No industry, at the foot of a mountain. And
that's a really good point because I don't think people realize where their food comes from, the water they are using for the vegetables and the fruits. So if it's a country that's highly
toxic,
you are polluting your vegetables and
absolutely
fruits. That's what they're feeding them.
Yeah.
And so if you have toxic water, that's
guess where it goes.
Yeah.
It goes into the food. Same thing we were talking earlier about glyphosate. When you have animal protein, unless it's grass-fed, grass-finished, guess what they're feeding the cattle? Corn, soy, and guess what? And that stuff gets treated with glyphosate. So you might as well
with the highest spraying pesticides.
It's 90. I think it's 75. It might be 80% of all agriculture in America. 80% is used to feed cattle.
Wow.
And it's mostly corn and soy.
I know. It's awful. It goes, and they've done studies. They did this study where they were actually doing this in Hawaii, spraying glyphosate on the pineapples and then giving the husk to the cows. Then all the milk had glyphosate in it. So it definitely goes through. And then if you're eating the meat, of course, as well, it's awful.
So that's Algae's story. My story, I'm actually Canadian by birth. I've lived in the United States, mostly in Boston, but I've moved to Miami last year. I've been here 37 years. I mentioned the Canadian thing because that's where my story starts with algae. Because I did an MBA in international business, nothing to do with nutrition or biohacking.
Now we're here.
And here we are. But my younger sister, 17, 18 years ago, was diagnosed with breast cancer. She completely healed, but as she was preparing for her chemotherapy, her oncologist, which is a cancer specialist, told her to change her diet to an alkaline diet. Now, the oncologist didn't tell her what an alkaline diet was or why it was good for her. So my baby sister calls me, not that I knew anything about alkalinity, but I'm a good researcher and I love my sister. So I said, I have no idea, but I'll find out. Turns out it was mostly a plant-based diet because of the chlorophyll and the phytonutrients that have been proven to build your immune system. So that was one thing. But as I dug deeper, I discovered this German scientist from the 40s. His name was Otto Warburg, and he won a Nobel Prize for discovering that cancer cannot exist in cells if they are slightly alkaline. So I have to believe that was the other reason why her oncologist wanted her to have an alkaline diet to prevent the cancer from growing into other cells. So anyways, I gave her I found out what foods are alkaline and what are acidic. She changed her diet, she went through chemo, and she completely healed. But then I started reading more about plant-based diets and alkaline diets, and I kept seeing Spirulina and Chlorella mentioned all the time, and I thought, what is this stuff? So I finally gave up my 25-year corporate career, which, by the way, I'd had a little segue, you'll laugh at when I tell you this, into interior design. I worked in the interior design industry for 10 years, so nothing to do with biohacking or science or anything. It turns out I'm a science geek. But I gave that up, and I went to the Institute for Integrative Nutrition in New York to get a health coaching certificate. And when I finished that, I taught plant-based nutrition for a year at hospitals and corporations, trying to get more people to eat more vegetables. But I learned that most of them either don't like vegetables, or they gave them gas, or they didn't live near a grocery store, or the kids wouldn't eat them. So then I thought, well, I have to find some way to get the green nutrition into them. And I had recalled seeing this stuff, Spirulina and Chlorella, mentioned in a few articles. So I thought, well, let me check that stuff out. And boom. Unbelievable what I found. The fact that the NASA says it's got 1,000 times more nutrition than anything else. The United Nations endorsed it as the answer to world hunger. 100,000 studies documenting its health benefits. All this great stuff. And if you swallow the tablets, which are about the size of a baby aspirin, if you swallow them, there's no taste. Now, I like to chew them. I love the taste of them. I put my sea salt on mine.
Yeah.
So, but a lot of people who don't like the green flavor, if they swallow them, there's no flavor, no repeat. They're great when you're fasted or when you're working out fasted. So, and each tablet has the same nutrition as about 3/4 pound of vegetables. That's a whole plate of vegetables, right there. So that was 16 years ago. Because I started the company in 2010 when it all began. Because I decided, okay, I'm going to bring algae to America because it has been sold here since the 60s, but no one's explained it. The quality was very poor. It's all come pretty much from China or India, where they don't pay attention to the water. They use high heat to dry it, so it deactivates a lot of the important nutrients. So I thought, okay, I'm going to teach people about algae, but then I'm going to have to provide them with a safe, concentrated source.
Yeah.
So that's when I started to explore where to grow it, how to import it. I taught myself supply chain, manufacturing. I taught myself how to design packaging. I designed all of our packaging.
In the very beginning, you were doing this
everything,
all yourself?
All by myself. I was by myself for the first 5 years.
Wow.
All by myself. Not a single person.
Because we always see these companies and, success and everything, and you think it just starts from the very beginning of success. But no, it's dedicated.
16 years. It's been almost 17 years since the first 5 I was by myself. Then the 4 after that, I could only afford interns. And for 10 years, I didn't pay myself a dime.
Oh my
An
God.
absolute dime. Nothing.
And you were on Shark Tank.
I was on Shark Tank.
Well, when was that?
That was 10 years ago, because in fact you'll laugh. The day I did the interview, I applied. They won't tell you whether you're on it or not. You have to submit all this material and do interviews and do videos and packaging. I sent them so much stuff, and then they tell you 48 hours before if you're going to be interviewed. They tell you, well, if you're selected, this is the date that you should hold in case you are selected. So when they told me I was on it, I had like 48 hours to get myself on a plane. Obviously they flew me out and they put me up and stuff. But it was the weekend I was turning 60. And I'm turning 70, just so you know, I'm turning 70
So 10 years.
in 2 months.
Oh
so
my God.
so I know exactly when I did it, because I turned 60 like a couple of days afterwards, and I flew to Miami with my 2 sisters to celebrate. Now here I am. I'm back in Miami. Of course, I live here permanently.
70, you're going to celebrate here.
Yeah, it was a really rough ride. I didn't have any money. The office was in my condo in Boston for 8 years.
Wow.
8 years. My every single square inch of my condo had product, brochures, from the bathtub, my living room. There was nothing that didn't have algae stuff around, nothing. And then I couldn't afford an office, so I finally rented an apartment in my condo building down the hall from where I lived. You'll laugh. When I finally started hiring people, I would get up, brush my teeth, have my algae in my tea, walk 10 feet down the hall, open the door, and go into my office on the same floor where I lived in my condo building for 5 years. We're now in Miami in I call it a big boy's office. It's our first office tower. I have the company name outside the door. It's a real office. I mean, lots of women want diamonds. I wanted an office, and not funny because I did it strategically. I live beside the office. There was a brand new condo that I bought into, and it's next door. So now instead of a 10 foot walk, I have maybe a 100-foot walk. So I walk out of my door, down to the sidewalk, I turn right, I walk 10 feet, and then I work, and then I turn up and go to my office.
I guess it's not in your home anymore. It's somewhat
At least
healthy.
it's not in my home, although I do work at home with it. So, but yes, anyone who's got a company, wants to start a company, is curious about how they get started, it's a journey. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. You have to roll with the punches. I've never once missed payroll, although we got really close a few times. I used up every single penny of my savings. Wow. I even went into bankruptcy. I declared bankruptcy while I was doing this. I had my condo in foreclosure for 3 years. I had my car repossessed. I mean, when I tell people, and it's in the book. My editor said, "We want your story in the book," and I said, I don't want to start the book with that because it's kind of teary-eyed. So we're putting it at the very back of the book, so you don't have to read it if you don't want to, because the story about algae is what the book is about. But it was not easy. But I knew if I could get this out to people, I could change lives. Yeah. Algae can change lives, and it is changing lives.
I love that. It's the inspiration and the dedication. I think they say always with entrepreneurs and everything, you really have to have that dedication or you won't succeed, and that passion.
Yeah, because you won't stay with it. It's so easy. You get knocked off. You have moments. There's obviously highs. We all have a few highs, but it's a day-to-day. I worked 7 days, 12-hour days, 7 days for literally 16 years.
Yeah.
Now I'm still doing that because I'm trying. I work all week and then I write all weekend.
But you love it.
Yes, I do love it. I do love it.
That's the most important thing, so you have no regrets.
And I use it. I mean, I have no medications. I have no chronic diseases. I don't take other supplements. I mean, I don't know what I would do without this stuff. And I don't take Botox.
You're almost 70.
I'm turning 70.
How many 70-year-olds do not take medication?
I know. It's like none.
I don't know.
I have to keep finding new friends because people my age are sick, tired, and retired, by the way. Not just tired, they're retired. I'm retired, but in a different way. It's like, I've had new tires added to my body. I'm retrofitted.
You have more energy than most people I know. I mean, your brain seems also on fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got my PhD 2 years ago now, actually. So at the age of 68, I got a PhD. So I want to be an inspiration for anybody, but particularly women, because society has told us that once you hit 40, and certainly by the time you're 50, it's a downhill spiral. And I'm here to tell you, no, it's not. No, it's not. But it can be if you, but you have to be proactive.
Yeah.
You have to stay engaged with life. You have to take your health by the by the horns and investigate, research, and probably disbelieve virtually everything you've been taught, because unfortunately most of it was wrong. And people are trying to sell you stuff. You need to understand what's really happening in the world, what's really happening in your body, and I go through that in my book as well, because once you get your health back, because to engage with life, you have to be healthy. You have to have energy.
I know.
If you don't have energy and health, what are you going to do?
You're not living.
You're not living, exactly.
Yeah.
You're surviving.
Yeah, and a lot of people are doing that. They're always just trying to fix something, and while not feeling good. It's my inspiration in biohacking is because I was on the other side of health and never knew how good I could feel. And this biohacking has completely changed my health and completely changed my happiness.
Yeah.
And on a daily basis, because I have energy, my brain is on fire. I get to be excited for things. I have, I'm not injured. I'm not, I can work out all the time and feel good and recover quickly. People don't think about these things. And also your neurotransmitters, I feel like they're firing off like no other. And now I can work better and be a better person into this society.
Yeah. There's what I'm running into is that we're all finding out the things that are wrong and bad for us, which is good to be informed. But then you say, well, what's left? Like if my salads have glyphosate on them, my water is, tainted.
I know.
If I'm eating protein, it has to be expensive, grass-fed. So that's why I love algae so much, because, and we have a discount code. In fact, it's on a sheet somewhere for your community to get 20% off. And we'll talk about it later on. But if you took 10 of these a day using your code, it costs you $1 a day. Everybody can afford $1 a day.
I know.
So it's very the things that ultimately are important for you are the things that Mother Nature gave to us, whether it's sunlight or sleep or movement or air or water. And the great thing about biohacking is that if you don't have access to those because you live in a city or you don't have time, technology has found a way to incorporate those natural things, sunlight. We have red light devices, oxygen. We have hyperbaric chambers, water. You can do cold plunges, or So that's what biohacking. It's bringing us the things that ultimately nurture us, but we may not have access to it given where we live geographically or in the society, the world, the busy life that we lead.
Yeah. Do you do a lot of biomarker testing? Do you do lab testing?
I started to last year. I signed up with Function Health and got some labs from them. And then there's another company I just did some labs with. Age Code is the name of the
with Genfinity?
Jeffrey.
Oh, okay.
Blanking on his name right now. And they test. It's a blood test, but it's from the. They test at the cellular level. The other blood tests are your blood. This is really
you have to
more.
Tell me so I can put
Yeah,
it in the
Age
show
Code.
notes.
Yeah, I saw them at the A4M show last year.
Okay.
So very comprehensive report. I think it was like 90 pages long. It gave you every single marker, what you were short on. And in all the labs I get, my chronological age is always, my biological age is always younger than my chronological age, always, consistently.
And no deficiencies or anything?
Well, I wasn't taking a lot of omega-3. I wasn't taking any omega-3, so I had some minor shortages of omega-3. Which I'm taking more spirulina, and I'm starting to add an omega-3 actually.
Okay.
For that, but that's
a hard one for everyone.
Everything else was like they couldn't believe how great it was. I said, well, I take so much algae. Then there was no inflammation. I have zero inflammation. Even when I did the Function Health, the HC1, was it?
HSCRP.
Zero inflammation, because the spirulina and chlorella, that's their big thing, is they reduce inflammation. And when you can reduce inflammation, then you're not going to need NAD, you're not going to need peptides. All those things are helpful to reduce inflammation, but I say, well, what's causing the inflammation? Or let's get rid of the inflammation so you don't need the other
cause.
And
a lot of people want to supplement and take the peptides as a Band-Aid for that inflammation and for gut permeability. Everyone now is high inflammation and gut permeability, and it's causing autoimmune and disease.
Yeah.
It's awful. With the alkaline diet, was that fully just plant-based?
Well, I recommended her and you can go online, you can just type alkaline. Every single food creates what's called an ash in your body, which is either alkaline or acidic.
Okay.
So things like green tea, and it'll show you whether it's high alkalinity, medium, or low. So things like almonds are alkaline. But they're also not good for your teeth because they have a lot of lectins and oxalates. I mean, everything. Dr. Gundry, Stephen Gundry wrote a great book called The Plant Paradox, because there's plants that are good for you, but there's some downsides too. A lot of people go carnivore because they have too many lectins and oxalates. Yeah. Algae is the most alkaline food, so if you are trying to get to a state of alkalinity, just drinking high alkaline water is not enough. You have to have something that's going to move the needle more. And there is no food more alkaline than spirulina and chlorella. Wow. Your blood needs to be 7.34. We all know our body temperature needs to be 98.6. But a very important pH is your blood pH, 7.34. And if you eat too much acidic food, or you're too stressed, or you work out too much, your blood would become acidic. So your body naturally pulls minerals, which are alkaline, like potassium, magnesium, those are all alkaline. It pulls minerals out of your bones, organs, and tissue into your blood to automatically neutralize it, or you would die. But the problem is, if you do that a lot of times, what happens is it's like extracting money from your bank account. If you're constantly pulling minerals out of your bones and out of your organs and out of your tissue, then they become acidic. And for your bones, you get osteoporosis. It's one of the contributors to osteoporosis.
That's a huge issue, especially for women as they get older. They don't think about it until they finally take a test and they realize how crucial it is.
Yeah. So for your bones, you want exercise, anything. I got a weighted vest recently. So when I walk, I do a 2-mile walk every day. I wear my weighted vest and weights on my arms, because that adds some weight to your bones. So the weighted vests are really great for building a sweat, endurance, and also for bone building, for sure. But the alkalinity, so there's lots of alkaline foods out there, but
is dairy and meat
it's acidic? Dairy and meat are very acidic. Sugar, of course, very acidic. Yeah. Processed foods, very acidic. Yeah. You shouldn't be eating processed foods or sugar anyways. Yeah. And dairy tends to create phlegm in your lungs. Even with me, if I have any kind of yogurt, I'll have to clear my throat frequently. Something like 75% of the population can't digest dairy properly. But there's different types of yogurt on the market now with the B, the A2. Yeah, there's different cows. So that's better. Or there's also goat yogurt, which is better. My nephew could not drink breast milk or bottled milk, but he could drink goat's milk.
Okay.
So
that is easier to digest.
Yeah. So you find things that you can. There's workarounds for just about everything. Yeah.
Does spirulina, chlorella, or algae affect any of the bacteria in the gut?
Well, spirulina is a bacteria, so the short answer is yes. Well, maybe what I could do, but they do completely different things for the gut and for the body in general. So, do you want me to just sort of give an overview of how they, because they work completely differently, but work really well together. So, spirulina, we call ours ENERGYbits. Spirulina is known for giving you energy, mentally, physically, and at the cellular mitochondrial level, and satisfies your hunger. So if anyone's listening who's on a GLP-1, please take spirulina, because it has the highest protein in the world, 40 vitamins and minerals. I know you're not hungry when you're on a GLP-1, but you still need to be nourished.
Yeah,
your cells
protein.
constantly sort of subdivide. So you may not be eating, but that doesn't stop them from subdividing.
Yeah.
And you want them to be able to grow back healthy. So spirulina gives you the energy because it has the highest protein in the world. All the protein is in what's called amino acids. When you eat animal protein or other plant protein, your body has to break it down into aminos before it can be absorbed. Now, in spirulina and chlorella, they're already in aminos. So when you get 5 grams of protein, you get 5 grams of aminos. With animal protein, you might eat 50 grams of chicken, but if you have compromised digestion or you don't have the factors and cofactors and 1,000 other things, you may only absorb 10% as aminos. So even though you ate 50 grams of chicken, you might only get 5 grams of aminos. It's like having a bad currency exchange.
Yeah. I
gave you $10 in America, and you're only giving me $2 in UK, whatever, EU or whatever. So
that is true.
Yeah, but with algae, you get 1 for 1. So when you take spirulina, you already get all the aminos. It's a complete protein, so it has 18 of the 20 aminos, including the 9 your body can't make. And it's loaded with B vitamins. If you've ever looked at an energy drink can, please don't buy it, but you can look at it. You can look at it. It's like artwork. Don't take it, but just look at it. You'll see there's a lot of B vitamins because B vitamins convert glucose into energy.
Yeah.
So with spirulina, the B vitamins convert the aminos into energy, which gives you a mental and physical lift within minutes if you swallow it, seconds if you swallow it, within minutes if you chew it. And then on the long term, because it has particular nutrients in it that improve your electron transport chain, which is what make the energy in your mitochondria, it improves your ATP, right? So, and ATP can't be stored by your body. So you instantly get more ATP, which gives you more energy, and the nutrients. One in particular called superoxide dismutase, which we can talk more about later on.
Which is super.
And that blue pigment that I talked about earlier, that's in spirulina, it's called Phycocyanin. Well, here's what's really cool about it. And I don't know how much people know about the electron transport chain.
Probably not.
Probably none. It's how your mitochondria make the energy, and it's sort of like a relay race. In relay races, you have a runner, and they have a baton, and they pass the baton from one runner to the next.
You should be a teacher. You're so great at.
Well, that's why I wrote a book. Right. All this is in my book. So in a relay race, they pass the baton from one another, and then they cross the finish line. The way the energy is made for you in this thing called the electron transport chain is very similar, but instead of runners, you have proteins. And instead of a baton, you have electrons. So they pass the electron from one to the next, and at the end, you get ATP. But there's 2 helper molecules in there. I call them they're like Ferraris. One of the Ferraris is something called cytochrome C. And when you have the blue phycocyanin pigment from spirulina, it goes in there and hits the gas on the Ferrari. Whoosh. So the ATP can be produced faster. It speeds the electrons along faster. It's like hitting the accelerator.
You have so much energy.
Maybe that's why. But here's the other cool thing. That same blue phycocyanin in spirulina, only place in the world, if the cell is cancerous, the blue phycocyanin, or senescent, knows that it's a cancer or senescent cell, and instead of hitting the gas, it hits the brake. And when it hits the brake, it ejects that thing called cytochrome C, which kills the cell. It triggers something called capases, which kills the cell. So here you have a healthy cell and an unhealthy cell. In the healthy cell, the blue phycocyanin hits the gas, and you get more ATP. In an unhealthy cell, it hits the brake and ejects that thing and kills it.
Is there
unbelievable
PubMed articles? Is this how you know about this?
It's just thousands. There's thousands. I've been reading thousands and thousands and thousands of studies.
This is so crazy.
It's crazy. It's all documented. And so this is why I call spirulina in particular intelligent food, because you have to be intelligent to take it, and it knows what to do in your body. How incredible is that? That's Mother Nature at her finest. If it's a good one, we'll speed it up. If it's a bad one, we get rid of it.
So do you have all your family and friends taking this?
I tell everybody about
Any
this stuff.
age? Is there
Every age, newborns, pregnant moms, nursing moms, children, teenagers, pets, grandparents. There is zero drug interactions. There is no reason why you should not. Every single person in the world needs to be taking spirulina, and and I'll talk about chlorella in a minute. But it's a detoxing algae. So spirulina, very nourishing. And here's the thing: your mitochondria make your energy for you, right? The highest concentration of mitochondria are where your greatest energy needs are. The first one is your brain. There are 2 million mitochondria per cell in your brain. That's basically your neurotransmitters. 2 million per neurotransmitter.
Ooh,
crazy. Next highest is women's eggs. After that, your heart. That's why spirulina is brain food.
Oh my gosh.
Brain food, because the first thing that heals is your brain.
Which everyone needs.
Everyone needs, right? And it's quite different from chlorella, which is a gut health, because you asked me about the bacteria.
Yeah.
So spirulina is a bacteria. It has lots of things that will heal your all body parts, including your gut. But chlorella is really the gut health algae. And the reason for that is it is a plant. So it does have fiber, and it has the hardest cell wall in the plant kingdom. That hard cell wall attaches to heavy metals, glyphosate, pesticides, and alcohol, lactic acid, mold spores, and chelates them. So it attaches to them. It's like the police. They come in, they grab the offender and pull them out. That's what chlorella does.
Everyone needs that.
Everybody needs that too. So that's one thing. Number two, that fiber, because it's a cell wall, it's a cellulose wall, feeds your gut biome. It feeds the good bacteria so they can multiply. Spirulina does not have fiber, so it doesn't do that. Chlorella does have fiber, so it feeds the gut biome. Chlorella also has the highest chlorophyll in the world, and chlorophyll kills bad bacteria. So it's killing the bad bacteria, and it's helping the good bacteria grow. Pretty sweet. Chlorella also has the highest glutathione in the world, which is really important for your liver. Your liver is like your water treatment plant. It circulates and cleans your blood for you all the time. And it needs things like glutathione to work really well. So, and it needs some of those heavy metals removed. So chlorella does that for it. The other amazing thing that people would never believe, and it took me a while to get this figured out, and it's all documented in science, chlorella has the highest tryptophan, which is an amino acid. And you've probably heard of tryptophan. A lot of people know that turkey has tryptophan in it. That's why you feel sleepy afterwards, because tryptophan is a precursor to melatonin, but it's also a precursor to serotonin. And serotonin is known as your happy mood neurotransmitter, right?
Yeah.
Well, what people don't know is that 80% of that serotonin is made and used in your gut.
Yeah.
Only about 10 to 20% is made and used in your brain. The rest of it's in your gut. And one of the things that serotonin does, and I didn't know this, and it's incredible and explains everything, it stimulates what's called bowel motility, also known as a poop. People.
Do you know many people are constipated?
Constipation
and
is
they say
huge.
Are
Huge.
I didn't know this was such an issue in children.
Huge. I was researching 1.3 million visits to the ER in America every year are for constipation. Constipation. It's huge.
There's some people that are like, I haven't gone to the bathroom in a week. And I'm like, what?
Yeah, and that's so not. It's not only uncomfortable, it's not healthy. Because the stuff that I call the junk in your trunk, if it's if it's sitting there, guess what? Your blood keeps circulating around it, picks up the toxins that are there, and redistributes them through your body. That's not what you want. So you need, and so chlorella, does not work with spirulina. It's only chlorella because of the high tryptophan. It has way more. It's the most tryptophan in the world is in chlorella.
Take it at night. And
so we generally recommend the chlorella before bed or after dinner or after a workout or sometime before bed. It doesn't have to be right before bed because chlorella does take a full hour and a half to get fully absorbed because it has that hard cell wall. Spirulina gets absorbed in seconds or minutes because there's no cell wall. So if you just took it after dinner or any time between dinner and bed, because if you're fasting, by the way, it will not interfere with your fast because it only has a small amount of protein, 0 carbs. So it's a great thing to take before bed because it will help you sleep because it is also a precursor to melatonin.
Yeah.
But it will definitely help with the trigger the bowel movements. Your body repairs and detoxes
which is
at
so
night.
critical.
So yeah. And I have another tip for anyone because constipation is one of my big things right now. If the chlorella alone doesn't, and you're going to need 20 or 30 for your detox. You can't, with spirulina, you can get away with 10 tablets a day, but for detox and bowel movement, any kind of corrective measure, you need 30 tablets. But my other tip has nothing to do with algae, fresh pineapple. It's the bromelain in the fresh pineapple stimulates digestion and elimination.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Those two things will solve 99.9% of constipation. You don't have to take stool softeners or psyllium husk or do enemas.
Celery juice sometimes works for me.
Does it? Okay.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Maybe it's the high magnesium possibly because magnesium
magnesium
also will
really
help.
Yeah,
but if you take too much magnesium, you'll get loose stools. The
Yeah.
chlorella, you'll never get loose stools. So people go, I don't want diarrhea. You will not get diarrhea. It will just move the it's called peristalsis, which are the muscle movements in your bowel, and they're
that's good to
triggered by
know.
serotonin.
Okay, good. That's a good.
Amazing, right? So that's why chlorella is a gut health algae. I call it your health insurance because everything in your gut involves your immune
it's the
system.
most important.
So important.
So many people have leaky gut. So many people have gut dysbiosis. It goes on, and that's where everything starts.
Yeah.
And so the bad bacteria take over, and your immune system, everything goes downhill.
Yeah, it's a
very,
slippery
very
slope
I've
for
done
sure.
many stool tests.
Yeah, yeah.
Have you done one?
I've done stool tests, but of course
Okay.
I'm always, I've never had
Great.
a what do you call it? What's colonoscopy?
Yeah, yeah.
But I've said, okay, I'll do a stool test, because I know.
Yeah.
I know I'm good. I poop every day, sometimes twice a day.
Yeah, yeah,
And
same.
they're the right. Okay, people, we know we look, right? We all look, and you should look because you
know.
need to see what they're looking like. Because
I know.
if they're tiny and dry. That what happens? It means you don't have enough water. You don't have fiber. You don't have the chlorella will help with everything. Honestly.
Wow. So I wanted to talk about there's other spirulina products on the market, and chlorella and chlorophyll drops and everything. So how does that differ with the processing and the quality?
Sure. Well, chlorophyll drops are good because right now there's virtually no chlorophyll in our vegetables because our soil is so damaged. You could eat a room full of arugula and you'd get like the same amount of chlorophyll as in one of our tablets. It just is what it is. That's why it goes yellow so quickly. So chlorophyll drops are better. But here's the thing with chlorophyll drops. Do you know that they're artificially made?
No.
And it's not even chlorophyll that's in there. It's called chlorophyllin. You could check it out. Yeah, it's not even real chlorophyll. So it sounds healthy and it's better than nothing, but it's not the real deal. It's a chemical.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And chlorella has more chlorophyll in it than even the chlorophyll water because the concentrate. That's why it's called chlorella, because of the chlorophyll. So chlorophyll drops, I'm not going to beat on them, but also when you take chlorophyll drops, that's all you're getting. You just get chlorophyll. Nothing else. When you take spirulina or chlorella, you get the higher chlorophyll, but you also get 60% protein, you get 40 vitamins and minerals, you get all of the other pigments and healing attributes. You get things like exosomes. None of that's in the drops.
Wow.
So it's just, and that's why I say soloists, individual supplements, even if they're chlorophyll water, they're kind of like listening to a soloist. When you take algae, it's like listening to an orchestra because it has all the instruments and together they give you so much more richness of sound. In this case, it's richness of nutrition because they up-level each other. So they help each other absorb and be activated. So,
Would this be something good to also take, like if you're somewhat feel like you're getting sick?
oh, totally. Chlorella would be the one to take if you're feeling that you're getting something.
Do you ever get sick now?
Well, sometimes when I travel so much, because I did two shows, and I went to LA, and I did 8 podcasts in 3 days, and I was pretty tired, so I got a minor cold, but then I just load up on chlorella,
Yeah.
and it
Gets
goes.
it
And in my new condo, they were doing some renovations, and they found black mold, brand new condo, black mold, and I had
Here in
been feeling
Miami?
sick. And I thought, what was causing it? Now I found it was a black mold. But once again, I took
fear.
a lot of the chlorella, and
now
within
you're doing the
within
Evo.
days, well, actually not days, but within a week I was better, because it just pulls out all the toxins. Yeah.
Is
So
that why you're doing the EBO too?
well, I'm always just trying to, I'm in the
Cleanse.
business, I'm in
Yeah.
the industry, and I love learning, and I like experiencing. So,
too. I
I want to try everything. So I would love the boo.
Yeah.
But you asked me about chlorophyll. So that's how chlorella stacks up against the chlorophyll. Now, when it comes to other algae tablets, as I mentioned earlier, we grow ours in Taiwan, which is considered the gold standard for growing algae. And you say, well, what does that mean? Well, I explained that growing algae, making algae tablets, is not like growing vegetables, any other vegetable. It's more like making wine. And so with wine, it's affected by the angle of the sun for so wine in Australia tastes different than wine in California. And part of that is the angle of the sun. And for whatever reason, the location of Taiwan just has really highly concentrated spirulina and chlorella. Hawaii is further away, and it's actually quite mild compared to the concentrated nutrition.
They have a very popular spirulina.
Yes, there's a
powder.
really big company
Yeah.
there, and they've been around for. And again,
Yeah.
great company. There's other great companies. Now, in addition to the angle of the sun, with wine, the manufacturing process includes the type of wood in the barrels, how long it stays in the barrels, and there's lots of other things that affect the wine. With algae, the 2 most important things that affect the quality are what we already mentioned, the quality of the water, which ours is triple filtered spring mountain water.
Wow.
And more importantly, if heat has been used to dry the algae. And the reason why, and we do not use high heat,
wow.
you need to keep the heat under 114 degrees Fahrenheit, because once you get over that, you kill enzymes. It doesn't matter whether it's when you're cooking at home, so that's why you want to steam vegetables instead of boiling them to death. When you kill the enzymes, you lose a lot of the nutritional value. So, and one of these key nutrients in spirulina and chlorella, but especially spirulina, is an antioxidant called superoxide dismutase, also known as SOD, and it protects your mitochondria from free radical damage. And our bodies make it for us from the moment we're born until the age of 30. And then it slows down the production, just like it slows down melatonin, hormones. And by 40, and certainly by 50, it's dropped even more. So now you don't have the protection, or your mitochondria doesn't have the protection that it used to from free radicals. So it's in the spirulina. It's in every spirulina, but the problem is pretty much everybody else, all the lesser expensive algae, they charge less, so they have to sell more to make money. So they cut corners, and one of the corners they cut is they use high heat. They use high heat to dry it faster so they can get to market quickly. But that high heat deactivates that particular SOD, so it cannot go to work and protect your mitochondria. The other thing that is deactivated is that blue pigment that puts the accelerator on that cytochrome C in your electron transport chain. That's gone. And also, because it's dead, if you use high heat on it, not only do you not get the acceleration of ATP in a healthy cell, you lose the ability of it to kill the cancer cells, because phycocyanin is deactivated by high heat.
Wow.
There's other nutrients. There's these things called exosomes that are only found in live plants. Those get deactivated. There's so much and I'm sorry to tell people, most of these dried powders, they use high heat to mix them. There may be spirulina and chlorella on the label, but if they used high heat to mix them, they're not going to be delivering the high value that you expect.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the nutrients have been deactivated.
Yeah. I mean, I was just talking to Dr. Nathan.
Yeah.
About
at nitric oxide
beet powder.
and
Beet powder, how it doesn't increase. You can eat beets.
beets. I thought you were saying bee as in Poland.
Oh,
bee
no.
pollen.
Beets
powder.
But like when you dry it, and there's no nitric oxide in it.
Well,
but
it's
everyone's
the heat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Heat it ruins so much in nutritional value. It's really unfortunate.
It's not like you're eating the real food. Like
Yeah.
if you're eating a beet, you are going to get more nitric oxide, but once you dry it out, you're losing a lot of nutritional values.
Right. So our tablets are considered raw food.
Wow.
And they would grow if you left them in water long enough. Spirulina is not only is not only a raw food, it's a live food. Chlorella is not considered live because we have to crack the cell wall so your body can absorb it. But ours are raw food. So you'll get the same benefits of our spirulina as if you took raw or fresh or frozen spirulina.
Wow.
Because once again, those have not been exposed to high heat.
Wow.
So the high heat is the biggie. Yeah.
I don't think a lot of people realize the processing, how important that is when it comes to supplements or foods or protein powders or anything, and how it's processed is also really crucial. It's not just the ingredients.
Well, it's not just the ingredients. It's also how were those ingredients put into that supplement? Because a large number of supplements, especially the lesser quality, lesser priced ones, use synthetics.
Yeah.
And your body can't absorb them. So you basically pee them out.
Yeah.
And this is food. Again, I keep reinforcing whole food is ultimately, if having your own garden and having spirulina and chlorella are really ultimately the best solution for long-term health.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I wanted to get into skin and hair. You're glowing and you have...
And so are you, of course.
Thank you. But does this affect our skin and our hair
Oh,
as well?
totally.
A lot of people are struggling with, hair growth, hair density, and also we all want glowing skin.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, your skin is an organ.
Yeah.
And all of your organs are nourished by blood. Now, you can't see your liver or your kidney, but they're being nourished by your blood, and so is your skin. You can see your skin, but you don't even think about it being fed by your blood, but it is.
Yeah.
So the food the food you put in your body is either going to be helpful or hinder your skin health. I can look at someone's skin and I can almost tell whether they're eating too much dairy, too much sugar. Really? Lots of blemishes are caused by sugar, which causes bacteria, which is very acidic. So
interesting. I didn't think about blood circulation as well. I mean, that's why everyone's doing the lymphatic drainage, which can really help. I don't know if you do any of that, but
no, I do nothing. I don't even know when I last. It's probably been 5 years since I've had a facial.
I don't do
Botox. I wear a hat. I wear a hat, and I eat algae. I know, it's crazy. I know. Everything moves. I don't do anything. I do nothing. I don't do dry needling, nothing.
Oh, my God.
And I've used the same cream for 40 years, nothing fancy.
Everyone, instead of spending thousands of dollars on microneedling and Botox and lasers, just eat.
Just as
Spirulina and
I
Chlorella.
will promise you. Now, remember, as you get older, your skin turnover takes longer. When you're in your 20s, your skin will turn over every 24 or 30 days. When you're older, it's more like 40 days. When you get older, it's even longer than that. But you will see it will. Because it's nourishing it's just nourishing. Everything in your body is nourished by your blood. That's why you want your blood to be really working properly, and that's why chlorophyll is so helpful. It's also the same chemical structure as your hemoglobin. So when you put something this nourishing in you may be taking it for the protein or the energy. I can promise you your skin's going to improve, and so will your hair. In fact, we used to have a bunch of guys working for us, young interns, and they used to get mad at me because guys, their hair was growing so quickly. And of course, guys get their haircuts more than women. They were having to get twice as often, their haircut twice as often. Your nails, I could probably screw things in and out of walls with my nails.
Oh my gosh.
My nails are as hard as rock. I don't put any nail polish on them. I did break one there because I was moving.
Yeah, it happened.
But your nails, your skin, because think about it. your skin suffers when you have mitochondrial damage. It's from free radicals. Well, the damage is everywhere. It's not just in one isolated location. You have mitochondria in your skin too.
Yeah.
And so when you have free radicals, they cause damage, which leads to wrinkles. That's your collagen. And you don't need collagen, by the way, because collagen is basically clusters of aminos. They're called peptides. And spirulina has more amino acids than any collagen. In fact, collagen does not have tryptophan, so it's not even a complete protein. We have up to 400% of some aminos in spirulina than you find in collagen. I don't take any collagen. I've never taken collagen. I don't take green powders.
Collagen every day.
I never take. Now
You should see my supplement stack because you don't take any supplements.
Well, I now added omega-3. So,
okay. But I take everyone's taking now 50 supplements a day.
That's the high. You can eliminate a multivitamin, collagen powder, greens powders, a CoQ10. Please get rid of fish oil. You don't need biotin for your hair. There's 6 right there.
Oh my gosh!
Right?
I take mostly. I take biotin every day.
I'm never going to beat up on omega-3 because your brain, you can't really ever go wrong with it. But try not to get it from fish oil because fish oil goes rancid.
What are you doing? I'm trying to do sardines and eat.
Sardines are great. Salmon is great.
Fish,
more
eggs.
Any food is always a better source
and
for sure.
And that's what you're doing.
In fact,
omegas.
I started eating this salmon bowl that I get from Pura Vida.
Oh my gosh!
So
have you been to Avo?
I've been to Avo. Yes, it's lovely.
Great.
Yeah,
really
really terrific.
It's maybe a little more on the organic side.
Yeah.
Compared to Pura Vida.
Yeah, but ladies, I'll tell you. There's chlorophyll acts as a sun protector. I don't ever use. I put a little bit of sunblock on my chest because I am getting older.
You don't wear any sunblock.
I don't wear sunblock other than I do put it on my chest now. Yeah. But I have worn a hat every single day for 35 years.
Yeah.
Or maybe even 40.
The best.
Because I'm almost 70.
Especially
so at least
here in Miami.
In fact, I had a hat. I left it in my Uber on my way over, so I'll order. They're just baseball caps. Yeah. I don't go anywhere, even for 2 minutes, without a hat. Yeah. Just get yourself a collapsible little hat, stuff it in your handbag, pull it out when just running in and out of the car. And that's why I have not a single wrinkle on my forehead.
And no sunspots.
And no sunspots.
I know.
Nothing.
Your skin is amazing. I don't know if anyone can see, but I'm like...
but I do have them on my chest because I wasn't as... when you have your hat, it doesn't always cover your chest. So I'll tell you, the hat and the algae.
Yeah. I now have an umbrella. I have a UV umbrella because I don't want to wear a hat all the time because it just weighs down my hair. Yeah. And this is a common thing in Miami. I see a lot of people have umbrellas.
The Asians have been carrying umbrellas outdoors during the day
and people
for decades.
Make fun of like Brian Johnson's umbrella, but I'm like, you know what? I understand for a little walk, but if I want to get my steps in, want to be outside, this is great because I'll typically wear a hat on some days, but if I have an event or something, like I don't want to wear a hat. Yeah. So I use the umbrella now and I love it.
Yeah. Have something that you can carry with you all the time.
Yeah.
Make sure it's tiny and light. Of course, we live in Miami and you know how crazy the rain gets. So, and it'll show up out of nowhere and torrential, like 5 inches in half an hour. So I discovered these $2 clear plastic capes from Amazon. So I have them stuffed in my walking vest, my handbag. So if it rains, I just throw one of those on. So same with the umbrella or the hat. Just have some, buy them in multiples and have them everywhere. And then because it will make, it's this, you know what it is? It's the small things that you do every day that add up. It's like depositing into your bank account. $1 a day. It sounds like tiny, but over time it adds up. These little habits, whether it's getting to bed just to give yourself another half an hour or working out just a small amount, just stretching, taking algae every day. It's a very small, they're tiny tablets. It's a small add to your routine and you can get rid of other stuff. Yeah. So it's not glamorous. It's not exciting. But then, and I tell people that's what love is. It's different than speed dating, which is really exciting in the moment and whatever. Love is nourishing, and it's not always exciting, but it's comforting and it's consistent.
Yeah.
Comforting and consistent.
I think the consistency.
It's the consistency.
So important.
And trust me, as you get older, you will wish that you had tried some of these more smaller, consistent things.
It adds up.
It really adds up.
Yeah.
I saw a post the other day on Instagram that it said, write yourself a letter a letter as if you were 80 years old saying, I wish I had done this earlier, or thank you for doing this for me. And I think it was aimed at people who were like 30 or 40. And it's like, I'm thinking, well, I'm almost 70. 80 isn't so far away from me. Maybe I should write myself a letter when I'm 100.
I mean, that's our goal in this space, is to live a long, healthy
But
life.
you don't want, if you're limited in your energy and your mobility and your capability, living long is no goal.
Fun. I know.
It's not the right finish line.
Yeah, a lot of people get to that age, and it also is very costly. Like, I think people don't want to spend money on their health now, but wait till you're 80 and you have to have a caretaker or dealing with some type of Alzheimer's or something. It gets very expensive.
Well, and a lot of people at my age have cancer and you know what? They become their diagnosis. Their entire day wraps around which pharmaceuticals they're taking, their doctor's appointments, how long will they survive? They become the diagnosis, and it's very sad for them, and it's sad to be with them.
And I think a lot of people live an unhealthy lifestyle thinking it's never going to happen to them. And then it does.
And
then they regret, and all they want is their health back.
Yeah.
It's very critical. So we're here to inspire
exactly
people.
And help, correct behaviors that you may think aren't hurting you, but and maybe you're just not even aware that things like EMFs are damaging to your mitochondria. And trust me, they are.
Yeah.
and that light from the sunlight people still think it's damaging. No, it's not. In fact, it's more damaging if you don't get some of it. I sit outside strategically, at least for half an hour every single day. I try in the early morning.
Yeah.
But if not, I go at some point during the day.
Yeah. I know. I'm like, you want, of course, always that balance. So
yeah.
So tell us your daily health habits.
My routine?
Yeah, we want to know how to look like you.
Well, I'd like to look like you. Put me in a time machine. The Jenny time machine. I really strive for my 8 hours. First of all, and I sleep. The room is cool, dark. I have a mask. I have a Aura ring. I actually just got a ring that disguises the Aura ring. So it's in there.
Oh wait, which one is that? I saw
Logan. Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, you can check it out if you want. So it's.
I want that.
Yeah, so it's cool. So I when I wake up, first thing I do is I check my sleep. Although I can usually tell how I've slept, but I getting that deep sleep and the REM sleep is really important.
Critical.
Then I get my temperature back up in my room. The first thing I do is a glass of Spring Mountain water, or Evian. I'm getting a water cooler with fresh squeezed lemon. Not the fake stuff, not anything bottled. Squeeze fresh lemon into clean water. Drink a full glass of water. Because when you are sleeping, you may not be aware of it, but you are sweating. And your body will be dehydrated. So the most important thing is get water back in there first before you do anything else. So that's number one. Then I make a tea. I drink something called yerba mate, which is actually the national drink of Argentina. And it has more antioxidants than green tea, which is my second go-to later in the day. So I'll make myself a green tea, a couple of green teas. And then I always have a big pile of spirulina and chlorella tablets. I put sea salt on them. I love them with sea salt. I eat a lot more than your average person. But I'll have at least 30 spirulina and 30 chlorella in the morning with my tea. I usually have 2 tea. Do
you work out at all?
I don't. I should in the morning, and I'm going to try to change my routine to go in the morning. But I do the evening. I do I have a gym in my building, and I do almost every day I do a 2-mile walk with my weighted vest.
Okay.
Usually just at sunset, so like around 7:30. So I get away from the sun itself, but I'm outside. Getting outside in nature is so soothing. It's very soothing. So for my morning routine is pretty simple. I just have my water, my tea, my algae tablets. Then I get and I kind of meditate while I'm drinking my tea, or I haven't started really journaling, but I do. I kind of mentally think of how grateful I am for where I live and what I'm doing and the people I'm doing it with, and it really makes me feel happy and grounded.
Yeah. I think I do gratitude every morning, and I
every
think
morning.
It's really important to start your day, because I think we take so much for granted, and when you start looking around and looking at your life and say, okay, there's so many things to be grateful for.
Yeah, and then when you start your day calm, because this is why I used to love interior design, because I thought a beautiful room will help you feel grounded and at peace.
Yeah.
And I would even if people can't afford lots of expensive furniture, and I never used to either, just declutter it. A clean space spiritually is very calming.
Yeah.
Chaos is very disturbing
It does.
at the cellular level, visually, and so I have no clutter. I have no touch, because I have empty walls. In fact, I have this wall I put travertine on. I was going to put a painting on, so I put installed a light on it, but I eventually never put anything. And there's just this huge wall and an installed light at the top, and people kind of look at it and they go, "Aren't you going to put something there?" There's something there. It's a wall. It's fine. Less is best.
I agree. I'm kind of with that as well. I like a very clean, organized space.
And I end my day pretty much the same. But I drink an herbal tea, but I still have my algae tablets, and again at night with the sea salts.
Yeah, I'm
and
gonna try that.
I just have more
before
chlorella at night.
Check my Oura ring the next day.
Right.
So where can everyone go find ENERGybits? And
Yes.
we didn't even talk about your book.
Oh yes, well
you
the
have
book.
to mention that your book is coming out.
Yes. The book is going to be published in January, and the title is "Love Your Health to Bits with Algae." And I want people to know this is a book about algae. It's not about my company. In fact, I think in 300 pages, I might mention the company once. This is truly to help people.
This is 17 years of research.
17 years of research. It has been an incredible journey. I had to do even more research for the book. I promise you, you are going to learn things that you never dreamed were possible. But the science has been there, but it's been stuck in scientific silos. That's why and I make it fun. I talk about learning about your mitochondria is like taking a trip in Star Trek, or the chaos that ensues is sort of like for free radicals is like the old westerns where the bad guys rode in and took over the town. Well, that's what bad bacteria does to your gut. So I try to make it as fun and playful as possible. So please stay tuned and it'll come out in January. You can come to our website, ENERGYbits.com, and get a pre-order, because we'll have lots of fun stuff. There'll be an Audible version, etc.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited.
But if you do want to come to the website, ENERGYbits.com, and learn more, or even better, buy some, you can get a 20% discount using the discount code BiohackerBlondie.
Okay.
All one word, BiohackerBlondie. It works on all the products. The blue one is the Spirulina. That's your energy, and it's got ENERGYbits. It's the one that gives you energy and for your brain health and your mitochondria. The green one is the Chlorella, which is for gut health and helps you recover, which is why we call it Recovery Bits. We do have another brand called Vitality Bits, which is in a red package, and it's a blend of the two algae. But I encourage people to start with them separately, because you might find that you like one better than the other. If you end up liking both of them the same amount, then switch over if you want and just get the one package. But yeah, ENERGYbits.com is where all the action is. We're on Instagram, of course, and Facebook. ENERGYbits is the handle. Yeah. So, and I do have my own website and my own handle, Catharine Arnston. They're small, but we're trying to, beef it up a little bit. That's Catharine with 2 A's in it, Catharine. Sorry for the spelling. That's how my mother spelled it.
Okay.
But we have I'm very proud of what we do. We have a great team now. We've gotten to be quite big.
Yeah, I
and
know.
we don't sell through retail. We sell through our website only or through
Wow.
biohacking clinics, medical clinics, because it's medical grade food is what this
Yeah.
is. It's so pure and clean.
Are you guys on Amazon?
And Amazon, yes, we are on Amazon. And they come in cute little pouches of 30. So if you're traveling, they're handy to throw in your gym bag or your travel bag or something. But the best value are the bags.
Yeah.
And remember, if you take 10 tablets a day and use your code BiohackerBlondie, 10 tablets will only be $1 a day.
Okay,
If you are trying to
sold.
correct a condition or prevent one, you should be taking 30 a day. And remember, I take, I'm not saying I'm normal. I'm certainly not normal. But I probably consume definitely over 100 a day and have
I love the taste
for
of them.
17
It's
years.
Kind of hard not to.
17 years, people, and I'm about to turn 70. So algae could be your longevity secret. It's it's definitely mine.
You are definitely the inspiration. So I don't know any 70-year-olds with your energy and your skin.
Well, it's too kind of you, but thank you. Thank you so much,
so
Jenny.
much.
Thank you for everything that you do.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of us to help the world.
Yeah, we're trying. We're
Yeah,
trying. So
yeah.
thank you so much for coming on and
Thank
taking
you.
the time out of your day and explaining
My
everything
pleasure.
about algae.